U.S. President Joe Biden is set to meet Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy on Monday to try to get closer to a deal on the debt ceiling, following what McCarthy described as a productive phone call. Biden told reporters upon his return to the White House from Japan that the call went well, and McCarthy struck a more positive tone on the issue on Sunday, despite no sign of a final agreement being hammered out.
What I'm looking at are where our differences are and how could we solve those. And I felt that part was productive. But look, there's no agreement. We're still apart. The agreement would be, let's get our teams back together so everybody clearly understands what we're talking about, what they're talking about.
Talks had stalled as both sides fell back to calling the other side's position extremist. Biden, who was in Hiroshima for the Group of Seven summit, said before the call that Republicans' demands were unacceptable. Democrats have been pushing to hold spending steady at this year's levels, while Republicans want to return to 2022 levels. Last month, the Republican-led House passed legislation that would cut government spending by 8%. Democrats have said that would mean average cuts of 22% to education and law enforcement, a figure top Republicans haven't disputed. In any case, they're on a tight schedule to strike a deal before June, with risk of default already putting markets on edge.
Having spoken to Schumer, Leader Schumer, I was giving him 7 days. He told me he doesn't really probably need that much time. We need to post a bill to whatever we agree to. It takes some time to write it. We have to have it 3 days, 72 hours, before we could vote on it. Then it would go to the Senate.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said June 1st was a hard deadline for raising the $31.4 trillion debt ceiling, lest the country risk triggering a default, sparking chaos in financial markets and spiking interest rates.